So we go into turn 3. Nothing else to clear. So draw back up to 7, and here away we go. 4, 5, 6. 3, 6, and one more. 7. I like the artwork and stuff on these cards. All right, so we have one button left. It's probably not worth bidding, but because what happens is the op bot rolls, and so if you and it basically whatever you roll is how many it bids for the strategy cards. So obviously it's going to roll at least a 1 because there's no 0 results on these dice. So I'd just be throwing away the thing. So we're just going to skip right over trying to bid for a strategy card and go into play. Let's see. Well, that's powerful, but I think we'll start with Carrie Chapman Cat. Receive 2 Dragon Balls and add 1 in one state of each region. So 2 buttons and put 1 influence in one state in each region. So we'll put 1 down here in New Mexico to bring it up to speed. We will put 1 in, let's see, 4, 4, 3, put 1 in Colorado. Actually, we should put it in North Dakota first. Put 1 in Texas. Let's see, put 1 in Iowa. Lob 1 into our tiny hold in Pennsylvania, and toss 1 in Rhode Island. Over to the op bot, which plays its mandatory turn 3. Add 1 campaigner to the northeast. That's going to be powerful for him. And yes, you can have opposing campaigners in the same area at the same time. Okay. So we're almost halfway through the game and we have almost no ratifying influence so far. So we need to get things moving in Congress, but we also need to get stuff, more states up to 4 cubes for ratification. So the Civil War is no longer in effect, so we're going to play the National Women's Right Convention. Add 1 influence in Congress and 1 in one state of each region. Until the Civil War, suffragists gathered annually to celebrate success, debate strategy, hear speeches, and encourage state and local conventions. Excuse me. Yeesh. So 1 influence, and once again, around all over the country. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4, 4, 4. We'll throw another one up here in Idaho. We'll put 1 in Colorado. We'll put 1 in Texas. Put 1 in Wisconsin. 1 in Connecticut again. Oh, sorry, Pennsylvania. And 1 in Jersey. Trying to start get some solidified areas for ratification, because once you get either the check mark or the X, there's no going back. There's no more influencing. They've cast their vote for or against the amendment. So over to the op bot. If there's at least 1 influence in Congress, remove it and add 2 influence in South Dakota. Okay, so that knocks out that, takes out that influence, and drops 1 in, which is partially why I put cubes in there, because you have to remove the opponent's cubes first, so at least it makes it a smaller hill to climb to get out of that mess. Let's see. I think we will play Debate Us, You Cowards. Roll 2d6, remove that number of opposition influence anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Before tweet storms and TV pundits, public debates helped audiences understand issues, and suffragists distributed briefs to prepare for the clash. So 2d6 of removing, and it is 7. Not a terrible roll. One might say quite average. Let's see, 1. So we can swipe these guys 4, 5, 6 to get 1 out of Georgia. And yeah, Missouri's just too far gone. So we'll take a 7th one from Georgia also, to at least keep them out of ratification that fast. And we're up to 3 tokens now. So we'll probably be bidding on a strategy card. But we may have to take a congressional action. And a congressional action, by the way, for using one of the cards, they don't actually call it a congressional action. They call it a lobbying action. You roll D6s for each number of campaigners, and if you roll a 6, you can add 1. And if you roll 2 6s, you get to add 2. So it's kind of a low, a low probability event, but you can use your tokens to do rerolls. So that's really the challenge there. All right. That said, let's see how the Opbot responds. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Yikes. Natural disasters and long periods of expensive rebuilding disrupted the political momentum that suffragists were building in the state and in Congress. If there's at least 1 yellow or purple in California, remove all yellow and purple from California and lose 1 token. Wow. Wow. So that wipes out 4 influence in California, and we lose 1 reroll. Yikes. That stinks. All right. So we're going to do Frederick Douglass, an abolitionist and influential suffrage leader. Douglass wrote in his influential North Star newspaper, "Our doctrine is, right is of no sex." Roll a d8 and add that number into the Northeast. No more than 1 per state. Come on, Mr. Douglass. Helps out. 2. I just am not good at rolling dice sometimes. Well, we can add 1 to Jersey. At least that makes it positive, and we'll throw 1 into Vermont. Sure, why not? Snow, snow, snow. Opbot. A threat to the ideal of womanhood. Plays was round 1 or round 2. It is not. Let's see. Because it is not, there's a rule about that, so it will instead use it to do campaigning, I believe. Let me double check the rules on that. Yep, campaigning action. So he's got a person in the south and a person in the northeast. Double 4s. Sure, of course. So in the northeast, he's going to take 2 out of Jersey and put 1 in Maine and Maryland. Meanwhile, in the south, by Texas influence, and there we go. That was rough. Man, I wish I could roll that well for the suffragists. All right. Hoping for the best. Draw 2 cards from your draw deck, discard 1, play the other for its event immediately. Something good. Civil War is not in effect. For the remainder of the turn, roll a 6 instead of a 4 when taking a campaign action. All right, well, we're going to have to discard the 1, and then we'll discard this one just to take a campaigning. Oh, except we got to play the event. We don't have a choice. Rats. So for the remainder of the turn, roll a d6 instead of a 4 when taking a campaign action. And that's property rights for women. Called the first Jewish feminist, Ernestine Rose wrote the first petition to secure women's property rights, a change that fueled the suffrage movement. Well, unfortunately, we only have 1 action left. So we'll definitely be doing a campaigning action to take advantage of that D6 situation. And this one's gone. And now we're back over to the Opbot, who... white supremacy and the suffrage movement. If the Southern strategy is in effect, it is not. So they're going to campaign again. Oof. So, campaigning action. Hope I don't roll as well again this time. I do not. A 3 and a 1. All right, well, We're going to play the 3 down south and the 1 up in the northeast. And the reason why is because the outbot can claim Texas. So it's going to drop 3 influence into Texas and immediately claim that card, which we'll get to in just a second. And it'll drop 1 into New York. Okay, there's that. And now that it'll resolve Texas, add 1 influence to each state in the South region except Texas. Well, that was powerful. That gets discarded now. So everybody except Texas gets 1, which makes sense. Yikes. Okay, that's not great. And for the suffragists last turn, we're going to take advantage of our property rights. So we will discard the Alice Paul and Lucy Burns thing, I think. And instead do the nope, not organizing, campaigning. And do the campaigning action, this time using D6s. Ay. We're gonna go ahead and burn a reroll. Because come on. And we do even worse. So we'll burn our last 1. Still not awesome. You know, 6s do actually exist on this dice. All right. So 3 and 3. That is so annoying. And we will just dump all 3 into California, I think. And in the northeast, we can add put 2 in Jersey and 2 in Connecticut. Nothing else happens. This goes away. That continues to be there. So we start turn 4. So draw up. 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Roll 2d8s, remove that number. Roll 2d8s, remove that number. Roll 2d8s, add that number anywhere. Ooh, add Congress, wow. And get 4 Dragon Balls. More removals and additions. Win all ties. So this is like the weakest card now is what I'm on to. All right. We have nothing to bid with because we had to burn it all on rerolls and it still didn't work out. So we go straight on to playing. We have got to get this moving. So we are going to play Tea Parties for Suffrage first. Add 1 influence in Congress and get 4 rerolls, aka campaign buttons. Wealthy women who supported suffrage, like Sarah B. Cochran and Alva Belmont, familiar name, donated funds and opened their homes for large events with famous suffragist speakers, aka Money Talks. All right, let's see, that's turn 4. The Outbot, unwarranted, unnecessary, and dangerous interference. Add 1 influence in 1 state of each region. Some states stridently oppose suffrage amendment and passed resolutions to warn the federal government against violating their rights as states. Okay. 1 in each region. So we're going to pick off this one so that it's below the 4 threshold. We'll pick off this one, same reason. We'll add 1 here. We'll add 1 to Louisiana. So it's at the threshold needed. We'll add 1 in Kentucky. Oops, North Carolina, calm down. And that just leaves the Northeast, where we will take one out of Connecticut. Okay. Let's see, Ohio and Illinois. Nobody's gotten that yet. Virginia, nope, and Georgia. Also still no. So, can we make a play for Virginia? Okay, first we're going to do Mary McLeod Bethune. Well, shoot. Do we want to remove stuff or do we want to keep building influence? We got to keep building influence, but doing that takes away your opportunity to do anything else. So this guy needs to get out of there. But I think we're going to do it anyway because we really got to get that congressional. Frances Willard, the temperance movement leader, saw suffrage as a powerful tool for her teetotaling cause. She famously said, "Politics is a place for women." I mean, it's not that catchy, but okay. And 2 more reroll tokens. So we'll definitely be able to bid on the strategy card going forward. Onto the opposition. Xenophobia. Remove all orange from 2 states with the most orange. Then remove all purple from the 2 states with the most purple. Okay, well, neat. So that would be New Jersey had 3 purple, and there's a whole bunch of states with 2 purple, so I guess they'll take it from one that had 4. So New Mexico, and now all orange from 2 states with the most orange. That would be California and Utah. That is rough. Okay. So we're going to play the Mary McLeod Bethune. Roll 2d8s. Remove that number of opposition influence. No more than 2 per state. So not quite as good as what just happened to us, but still. And 12 is the answer this time. That's a lot better than before. So 12 total. No more than 2 per state. So we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Brother. Not sure where else to put it. And 12. That was big. Plus, I was trying to open up Ohio and Illinois to try and grab their state cards. So, over to Outbot, who I'm sure will be pleased with that. Add 2 in any 3 states. Backlash to the movement. Social movements often inspire backlash, and as suffrage sought to redefine the role of women in society, reactions ranged from the bemused to the violent. 2 to 3 states. So there's 1, 2. There's 1, 2. And 1, 2. So that puts Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas back in the no column. All right. Yeah. So I think we're going to discard this one for a campaigning action and burn a token to move our suffragists around. So we're going to move both of them, actually, to the Midwest. because we need to concentrate on Illinois and Ohio and see if you can't get those to go. Remember, you can only play one of them at once, but here's the big chance to try and do it all at the same time. Come on, double fours. How about double threes? Well, I mean, it's not terrible. So 6 to put in there, 3 of yellow or orange or whatever, and 3 of purple. So we will do 2 and 2 and Illinois, I think, right off the bat. Because that'll let us claim the Illinois card, which we will get to in just a second. And then for the final 2, we'll drop those into Ohio. And now we trigger the Illinois card, which says add 6 more influence to the Midwest region, no more than 2 per state. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a nice chaining event. I'm very happy about that. So we'll add 2 to Ohio and immediately claim that card. We just can't play it till next turn. Or next card play, not actually next turn. Let's see. We'll throw 2 here, 2 here. So that was an excellent turn overall. And the Ohio card is draw 2, discard 1, and play the other as an event immediately. So let's see what the op-bot does. If there is at least 1 in Congress, remove it, or 1 influence in Congress, remove it, and add 2 to New Hampshire, thanks to Senator John Weeks. A conservative Northern Republican, Weeks aligned with Southern Democrats in the Senate to vote down the suffrage amendment by 2 votes. So, out, and 2 influence into New Hampshire, which doesn't have anything in it. Okay, so first, First, we're going to use the this home run for suffrage to do instead a congressional action. So we roll 2 dice, and unfortunately they're D6s, and we've seen how that goes for me. And if we can get a 6, we can add an influence token. If we get 2 6s, we get to add 2. No, man, nothing happens. That was such a waste. Why did I do that? I don't know that we're going to get there. Okay, and now we'll use our Ohio card, which is draw 2 and play 1 event. Hopefully one of them is add to Congress. Neither of them are. So 18th Amendment, it is. Temperance supporters wanted to prohibit the sale of alcohol to protect women from abuse, and they supported suffrage as a means to that end. Roll a d6. On a 3 to 6, add 1 influence in Congress and receive 2 Dragon Balls. Yes. So, that's something. Do any of these strategies involve adding influence in Congress? No. That's unfortunate. So we only have 2 actions left in this round, so we really got to get some more congressional stuff going. That's really got to be the focus, hardcore of the next turn. Let's see, play if the 18th Amendment is not in effect. It is not? Oh, except it should be. I should have paid more attention. The 18th Amendment is in effect. But it is, so instead it'll be a recruit action or a campaigning action. Double 4s again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh boy. So we've only got one play left. It's got to be one of these, and then they're the same. So Mary Church Terrell, roll 2d8, add that number anywhere, no more than 2 per. Terrell, a skilled orator, was a steadfast champion for black women who pressed white organizations like NAWSA to fight for black lives and votes. So 2d8. 8 total. Place them anywhere, no more than 2 per state. So we need to shore some stuff up. One in Arizona, one in Colorado, one in Kansas, one in Idaho, 2 in New Mexico, because we can go up to 2, and 2 in Wyoming, I guess. Even though it's all one color, and that makes me a little bit nervous. I mean, we got to do something. Unless there's a couple 3s. We're going to do that instead. We'll put one here and one here. Okay. So last OpBot play for turn 4 is, if the Southern strategy is in effect, it is not. So they do a recruit roll. Please stop rolling double 4s. Double 1s. Thank you. Finally. So in the south, we'll just add 1 to Florida. And in the northeast, we'll add 1 up here to New Hampshire. Okay, that's the end of the round. We're going into the 5th. Yikes. So drop to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need good stuff. Roll 6s instead of 4s when campaigning. That's nice. Discard 1 and play it immediately. Another add 1. Add 3 to Congress. Wow. Okay, so we got some powerful cards to start off with. But first we got the strategy section, where we are going to bid 5. And the reason we're going to bid 5 is because the OpBot rolls the D12, which has up to a 4 on it. So if we bid 5, it doesn't matter what he rolls, we'll automatically win it. Because if he equal or beat it, he would take the strategy card and use it for his own, or just deny ours. So by birding 5, it's not even a thing. So we are going to use the transportation one, which says move all of your campaigners to any region without paying any costs, and then immediately take a campaigning action. So Georgia and Virginia, huh? So they're both going to head to the Appalachian area. And the campaigning action. Do we want to do that yet? No, we don't. We're going to buy the transportation card, but we're not going to play it yet. We draw a new strategy card, by the way, which is now reconsideration. Replace an X with 2 influence or a check mark. Wow, that's powerful. So instead, we are first going to play Mary Louise Bottineau Baldwin. For the remainder of the turn, roll a 6 instead of a D4 or a D12 when taking a campaigning action. Baldwin, a member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians, marched in the 1913 Women's Suffrage Procession and pressed President Wilson to support suffrage. So that's there till the end of the turn. That is all that happens, but that's a good setup for using this transportation card next turn. So the OpBot, because we're in turn 5, remove 1 influence from Congress. For the remainder of the turn, the suffragist player must spend 1 token in order to take a campaigning action. Yikes. So that's in play. This is out. Fortunately, we have a card that overrides that. Yeah. So first thing we're going to do is the transportation action and play that out to move them both over here. And now they'll do the campaign action, rolling d6s. Eventually I'll prove there's 6s on these dice, but not today. So we will say 5 purple and 1 orange. 3, 4, 5, and 1 orange. Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 into Virginia. So we can claim that card. We'll have to wait till next turn to play it because we just played the strategy card. And we've got 2 left. Let's see, which is going to be in 1918 midterm elections, roll a d6 on a 3 to 6, add 3 influence to Congress, which is just magic. Here's hoping, and we got 2 rerolls left. Aha, but we don't need them. 3 influence to Congress. That is huge. So that said, in 1918, suffrage was on the ballot in states and across the country, and suffragists successfully organized against senators who opposed the 19th Amendment. Phew, I guess so. All right. So back over to the OpBot. Add 1 in 1 state of each region. Emma Goldman, the opposition wasn't a monolith. As a radical anarchist, Goldman believed voting was a waste and supported full revolution. Well, that's lovely. 1 in each state of each region. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since it looks like the 19th Amendment might pass here real soon, rather than focus on adding them, we're going to focus on subtracting. So we're going to take 1 out of here. That counts as 1. We'll take 1 out of here. That counts as 1. Let's see. There's nobody to remove down there, so we'll just add 1 to Florida. We'll take 1 out of here. And 1 out of here. And I guess 1 out of Connecticut. And that's that. So we're definitely going to play this one, even though it's not perfectly advantageous for us yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's dangerous. Let's not play that yet. Instead, because we can lock up Congress, but all right. We'll start with this, the Virginia state card. Draw 2 and play the event immediately. So, receive 2 and add 2 in California, or roll 12 and add those anywhere. So I guess we'll do the roll 2d6 and add those anywhere. And there's no limit. Oh yeah, no more than 2 per state. 6. That's less awesome than one would hope. But we can put back some of the damage done. 1, 2. Let's see. 3, 4. 5 and 6. Spend a couple to take those out. And now we'll play the Women's Trade Union League. Add 1 campaigner in the Atlantic and Appalachia region, which is kind of funny. Add 1 influence in Congress and receive 2 stars. Dragon Balls. So 2 Dragon Balls, the 1 Influence Incongruence, which changes the game, and 1 more Campaigner, which I'll dig out. And ironically, she's hanging out with all these. All right. So, because this happened, we now go immediately to the evaluation phase of X's and O's. So, these no longer play a part in the game. We just take these out of the way. So let's see, if anybody had more influence for or against, let's see, Texas had a bunch against, so they get an X. After all that, here's how the board looks. Both sides have a ways to go, is basically the short story there. But honestly, the opposition is a lot closer, because they only have to get 8 more states to flip. So, that was the full turn for the suffragists. So now back to the op-bot. And note, by the way, Reconstruction's powerful. Replace 1 X with 2 influence, or 1 check mark, with 2 opposition influence, if that's the case. So we can get rid of a check mark and flip it. So that's definitely going to be worth bidding for. But the op-bot, add 1 in 1 state of each region. Okay, so he's still adding influences. States with checks or X's are excluded from that, as you might imagine. So only the states that have not yet voted are in play, as it were. Now, drop 1 there. And as soon as you get 4, immediately poof and vote. Let's see, put 1 there, so they're almost up to that point. And we'll put 1 up here. All right. So it's somewhat sudden death in a sense, because as soon as you get 4 cubes, it's immediately placed with the appropriate vote of a yes or a no. So, now is a good time to... Boy, we've almost lost the entire South already. I think we're going to go with Dr. Mabel Ping Ha-Lee. In spite of the Chinese Exclusion Act that barred women like her from voting after the ratification of the 19th Amendment, Lee fought for suffrage and citizenship rights. So 2d8, add that number anywhere, no more than 2 per state. 6. I apparently am incapable of rolling anything other than a 6 on 2 dice. So, influence anywhere, no more than 2 per. So we've got 2 we can add right here, which will immediately make that a check mark in Nebraska, so that's cool. We can do the same thing in Wyoming and turn that into a check mark. Let's see, we've got a 3-1 here, so we'll drop that 1 in and get a check mark in Illinois. And we got 1 cube left. I think we'll use it to pull 1 out of Mississippi. And note that Georgia is still under contention for getting that card. Okay, that's it. Over to the op-bot. If there's at least, nope, that doesn't apply, so they just do a recruitment drive. A 1 and a 3. 1, 2, 3. That's good we removed that one from Mississippi a second ago, or we would have been able to flip 2 states. And up here, it's only a single one, so we'll pull 1 out of Connecticut. All right. We've only got 2 plays left. Could add 2 to each state in the West, or just do a recruitment. What we really need to do is a recruitment. Where can we go get a bunch of votes? Because we still have our D6 thing going for our recruitment drives. So let's do that. We'll use the West's Awakening and just discard it to do a recruitment drive, and we will spend a token to relocate people. So we need to grab, there's a lot of votes in the Northeast. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 more in the West. The South we've just about lost, but we still have Georgia. Which has just received 2 Dragon Balls, but still, that could take away, is that a good strategy? Maybe. If we put 2 down here, and 1 in the Northeast, I think we're better off putting 2 in the Northeast. If we put 3 up there, 3, 6, 9, 12. Might be able to lock a lot of it down. Everybody's going to the Northeast. Okay. Because that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 states in play up there? 5, 6 technically. So, 3d6. Oop. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So we are burning a token to reroll that. So you got to reroll them all. You can't be selective. That's still not even quite. I mean, it's exactly average, but I'm not thrilled about it. Need it big. Burning it again. Come on, at least not 1, 1. There we go. 15. Five, 10, 3, 4, 5. Okay, time to get to work. So technically you have to allocate each of the dice out to each of them, but because of how I've done it, it doesn't matter anyway. But there's 5 purple and the rest belong to the orange because there's 2 orange recruiters. So we'll start with Vermont. Throw 3 more influence into Vermont to turn that into a yes. Let's see, Jersey. 3 more influence into Jersey to turn that into a yes. 3 influence into Connecticut to make that a yes. 3 influence into Rhode Island to make that a yes. Getting that 3rd campaigner at the same time we still have Mary Louise Botany Baldwin in play was a huge combo. I think we will use the last 3 to wipe their influence out of the Northeast. All right, so that was huge. Which is good because we only have 1 play left in this turn. So over to the Opbot, who add 2 in any 3 states. All right, so that's powerful. 2 in any 3 states. So 2, 2, and 2. That's huge. And that's why they don't focus on their campaigners too much. So 2, click. 2. So all of the South votes against. And 2 will go right here to Maryland, which will also vote against. The naysayers only need 3 more states to win the game and deny the 19th Amendment. Okay, back over here. Receive 2 Dragon Balls and add 2 to each state in the South. That is pointless. That's a dead card. We should instead do recruiting again. Well, we still have that power. So, So we'll discard that instead for doing a recruit action. And we will burn our last reroll token to move people around. Because there's what, 2 states left to claim up there? So we will send our intrepid third person. Where can we turn things around? Probably to the Atlantic and Appalachia again. Or maybe even the Midwest. If we get lucky with the Midwest, we could flip one. There's no way we're going to roll enough, probably, to flip anything there, but we can turn it back, and we really need to. So it's more important to play defense right now. So we're going to do this. Okay, so 3d6. No rerolls. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So we got to use the 6 with purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 2, 4, 6, and then 8. Oh man, 1, 2, 3. So we'll assign the 2 over there and the 1 up here. So for the 1 up there, we'll just drop 1 in Maine, I guess. Or Maryland. No, it's Maine. And down here, 2, 4, 6, and 2 orange. That's payback for having to burn all those rerolls on the last one, I guess. So, we will remove 2. That takes 2 influence out. We'll do it again. Take 2 more influence out. And that leaves us with 4 to, let's say, flip Kentucky. So I think that was probably well spent defense, since they only need 3 more states. So over to the Opbot for their last play this turn. Remove all purple from 2 states with the most purple. Whoo, that was lucky. And that is the Red Scare again. Socialist revolution triggered an American panic, and radical suffragists, like other leftists, were demonized as dangerous extremists and un-American. Fortunately, we just burned up a bunch of purple, so that's not too terribly damaging. That was lucky. That's the end of the round, so these all go away. Let's see, that was an op card, this was that. These stay in effect for the game. That's about that. Turn goes to 6, so this is the last round of the game. Ooh, the suffragists are a long way from getting everything they need, and the oppositionist is not. So, drawing up the cards, 4, 5, 6, and let's see what happens. Okay, well, we got some interesting cards, including add another campaigner, which is valuable. But I think we'll start with the, well, that's 2d6. Actually, if we add another campaigner, yeah, we'll do this one first. Roll 2d6 and add that number anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Hoping for not snake eyes. 5. I believe that's my standard. Slightly below average. 3, 4, 5. Okay, add them anywhere, no more than 2 per state. So we'll add 2 up here to Maine. We'll drop 2 into Maryland. And we will spend 1, taking 1 out of Indiana. Opbot. Nope. So he just will do campaigning, which I'm not sure what happens in this situation. So let me double check. Okay, so I made a mistake that makes this game much easier for the, well, actually much harder than how I've been playing it, which is that the Opbot apparently does not get to roll dice. It only places one. Unfortunately, they put that way in the back of the book. So how you officially do it when he campaigns rather than rolling dice is if there's nothing useful for him to do there, you roll a d6 to see where he moves to. And that is section 4, which is the Midwest. And then they place a single influence die wherever it is possible to do so. And for the other guy, so obviously that makes a kind of a different story. Also going here, also placing an influence there. So I'm going to let it stand how it was, even though that let him take over the South, and it's increasing the pressure significantly for getting ahead in this game, because look, we're almost out of time in the game anyway. So that influence, while awful, has not probably been that bad, but we'll see. Let's see, that doesn't matter anymore. I think we're going to do the add another suffragette or another campaigner in Atlantic and Appalachia and receive 3 Dragon Balls for rerolls, because there's not much point for anything else since we're on the last turn. But that's going to give us a lot of recruiting power, and we've got like 4 more turns to do recruiting. So Opbot, add 2 in any 3 states. Okay. It also says that Opbot, you can randomly roll it, but that doesn't make for an aggressive smart Opbot, because you normally be in any 3 states. So you roll for which region it is and then roll a die in that region. And then if it's one that it applies to, you do it there. I'd rather just play it more aggressively than that and just do it where a human opponent would be smarter about it. So if you're learning how to play off of this, note that I am playing it more aggressively than the rules actually have the Opbot playing. So in any 3 states, we're going to throw 2 in California, because we might be able to get that to flip. And because we have to throw 2 in, it'll take 2, but we'll flip Indiana. And we'll put 2 down in Tennessee. They need 2 more states, and Tennessee is threatening. So over here, we're going to discard this one to do a campaigning action, and we'll burn a reroll to relocate people. In particular, let's see, we need to get 1 person out west. Yeah, man, we're all over the country now. And we got to keep fighting here, and we need to keep fighting up there. Yep. So that's 4d12s, since that other act is gone. 2, 2, 3, 3. Well, that could be worse. Let's see. I think we need to do the 1, 2 up here, the 2, 3s right here, and the other 2 out here. So this 2 is going to be easy. Just going to remove these to lower the threat. Right here with a total of 6. 1, 2. Actually 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just 1, 2, because usually it adds 2, not more than that. 2, so we got 4 more, which we will add to West Virginia to flip it for 6. And up here, we only have 2. What can we do? Well, if we add 1 right here to Maine, we flip it, and we'll add 1 to Maryland. It's got to be orange. There we go. And that's the end of the round. That's out. Opbot. They'll be doing their campaigning thing, so we're doing it the less offensive way now. So campaign guy number 1 goes to location 1, makes sense. And we'll play one randomly since it's kind of whatever now. Location 1, so he puts 1 influence in Washington State. And the second guy goes to the Plains. And it's, what? 1, 2, 3. Only 3 to pick from, so I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming from North Dakota down. So he puts 1 in South Dakota, which is logical. Okay, back to the suffragists. We've got 1 more place to claim in Maine, so we got to leave 1 person there. 2 people there. We're starting to get into trouble in the plains. 4, 8, but we can claim 2 here and take those away. Leave 1 there. Yep, so we're not even going to spend a token. We are just going to do another campaigning action. So we're going to flex the fact that we got 4 campaigners out there now. They came a little late in the game, but better late than never. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1. We're burning a token. We need less 1s, please. Whoop. 3, 1, 2, 4. Well, take what you can get, I guess. At least it was less 1s. I should have been more specific. Okay. This one only needs a 1 because there's only 1 thing left to do up there. 4 and a 3. Let's see, a 4 and a 2. So that will flip 1 of those 2, and this one will knock out all the influence. So we can give 3 over here. All right, so first thing we'll use this 1 to put 1 more orange in Maine, which flips it. And the Northeast is pretty well decided at this point. Nothing left to do up there. Let's see, here we'll use the 2 to take out the 2 influence of Tennessee, North Carolina, and then burn the 4, I should say, to flip, I don't know, Tennessee. And finally out here we've got 3, so we will, boy, there's no influence anywhere. Wipe out this influence and add 1 to Oregon. Over to the Opbot. Play if at least 1 state has a check mark. Replace 1 check mark in a state with an X. Yikes. Governor Clement's veto. Nothing can give us, Vermont. Nothing can give us, except the death of the governor. And Chapman Cat after Governor Clement's veto. And we haven't come to murder yet. So that almost gave them the game. They only have 1 X left to get. Another recruiting action. Do they need to move? Yes, they do. So we'll have to burn that to get her, but we need to play defense up here too. So I think we're going to move these 2 to the plains. This one in the Midwest to try and salvage Minnesota. Next. Straight 1s, except for 1, 2, and I used my last token. Well, I think that may end the game for them. Mind you, I played it more aggressively than you should, but still. Okay. Wow. So if we do the 1, 2, and the 1 over here, and then the 1 and the 1. So 1 orange cube in North Carolina, golly. 1 purple cube in Minnesota. And with these 3, we can flip Oklahoma. But do we want to? Because we got those 2 right there, and if they do a place 2, the game's over. So we're gonna have to go 1, 2 to get rid of those. And instead, use the 3rd one to, I don't know, I guess put one more in Oklahoma and hope for the best. Yikes. Over to the Outbot. Nope. So they're just going to do a campaign-y roll thingy. So guy in California is now going to the Plains, because of course he is. Glad they played defense. And it goes into 8, which removes 1 there. And the other guy will go to 4, which is the Midwest, right? Yep. And there's literally only 1 place, so he will automatically take 1 from there. Okay, 1 play left. Recruiting action in the same locations. And after that, it's kind of a sudden death roll-off because things aren't yet decided. So that's much better. 3, 3, 3, 1. So give this person a 3. Give this person a 3. And the 3 and the 1 over here. So that's good news. So we'll start with this one. That flips Minnesota into a yes. This one flips North Carolina into a yes. And out here, we'll use this 3 to flip Oklahoma to a yes. And we'll use this last 1 to put down a cube in South Dakota. Okay, so Opbot's last turn. If the suffrage player has at least 4 tokens, the suffragist player loses 4. Nope. So they're going to do their last round of recruiting themselves or campaigning. So guy in the Plains goes back to the west and throws out an influence somewhere. 6 puts an influence cube in Utah. And the guy in the Midwest is going now to Appalachia, which would be pointless, so he won't do that. Instead, where can he go? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. So, California. Where he will put 1 in. He'll remove 1 rather from Oregon. So, if you don't play the Outbot like I've been playing it, it's much slower and less effective, but the Outbot cards are pretty good. But I still think playing it more aggressively is more of a challenge and more interesting. So, that said, otherwise I think I would have won fairly easily taking over the South. So, we've come to the end of the turns. There is no victor yet, so you go into roll-off determination mode. Now, unfortunately, it's literally a yes-no situation. As played, the opposition only needs to place 1 X left. Let's see, are there any states out here that need to even vote yet? No. They're all done, they're all done. So we got 2 states in the Plains, so we'll try that. South Dakota. Each player rolls a d6. Whoever rolls higher gets the state. So opposition rolls a 5, suffragists a 1. And the game's over. Okay, so the game's not supposed to be as hard as I played it because I gave the opponent's recruiting powers more oomph than they should have by rolling the dice, as opposed to just giving them 1 token each time, which... and then rolling 4s a lot. So it's definitely harder the way I played it than the way the opposition bot tells you to play it, but I think that is more aggressive and more accurate to having a second human player. So I don't regret doing that. I think that's a better way to play it. Regardless, lost as a suffragist, but oh well. I think this game is actually quite a bit of fun. You don't have to read through all the history every time. Sorry about that if it bored you or whatever, but I thought it was important to set context for the game, and I always like to do that with historical stuff. And as a game itself, as just a 2-player battler for control across the country, the card influence obviously is important. There's some dice rolling going on, but not so much that you can't mitigate it with some strategy in the card play. And being able to use the cards multiple ways, either as events or for pushing in Congress or for recruiting or campaigning, excuse me, all of that is pretty good. I never did use a card to buy more rerolls, but I didn't really need to, and there always seemed to be 2 other things I'd rather do, which is always a sign of a good game. You want more actions to take than choices to take actions that are relevant than you do actions that you can use. Otherwise, there's no decision space, and it feels very scripted. So yeah, this is a keeper. I liked it a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Ray. This is TinyTableGames. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.